What's up, guys? Welcome to Grit. I'm Victoria Dennis alongside Meg Burgdorf. And our guest this evening, well, she is a stud athlete who does not need any introduction. I'll say her name anyways for funsies. Emily Stockman.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah.
Well, it's not often that a human being plays professional sports, but it's even slimmer odds that one plays two professional sports, or competes, as I should say. So we know you from the beach volleyball world, a member of Team USA, has traveled representing this country around the world on the beach side. You played indoor before that, but now there's a big pivot in your career.
Huge
Pivot into women's boxing.
Yeah. I honestly couldn't even tell you why I decided boxing. I grew up in extreme sports, always loved extreme sports. My dad is an adrenaline junkie, so basketball was my number one sport growing up. I miss the physical contact. I miss just like getting in each other's faces. So boxing seems like that's a way to get in someone's face, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Gloves up.
Exactly.
Gloves up for sure. And so let's kind of walk through, Meg will touch on this, the retirement of beach volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
That was a long journey.
Yep.
You had great success as a beach athlete and on the AVP, on the FIVB tour. What was that retirement process like for you?
It was long. I honestly wanted to retire after the 2020 Olympics. My goal was to go there, win a gold medal, and retire. Obviously didn't happen. So after that season, I definitely took some time off and reflected on everything and decided, as a short turnaround for the next Olympics, only 3 years, why not give it one more shot? Because I felt like I was still playing at the top of my game. I definitely had it in me. So then decided to pick up Megan Kraft, who incredible player, incredible college player, and then she had started to make her name on the tour. And so it was really fun to pick her up. And she was still in college, playing for USC, going to school, doing all these things, and still competing on the FIVB with me. So that was amazing. And we sat down and decided we're going to make a run for Paris for 2024. That was our whole goal. But throughout our partnership, we were always checking in with each other too, because she knew that I was going to retire after, and me and our coach just wanted to check in with her. Like, this is the first time she's fully diving into international volleyball. Like, is this what you want to do? Because it's a lot. So yeah, we were in communication the whole time and knew that as we were going along, like, yes, we're both in. We still want to do this. This is awesome. And then Olympic qualification started, and we were doing pretty well. The top 2 USA teams were crushing it. And so it kind of came down to a point where we were like, you know what? Points-wise, we can't actually qualify anymore unless like one of the top 2 teams, like something terrible happens. So we were kind of out of the running at that point. And for me, knowing that I was going to retire at the end of the year anyway, or the end of the run, it just didn't make sense to keep going. And I wanted Meg to be able to find someone that was really in the grind and ready to go. And I was just kind of checked out at that point once that, the Olympic dream was kind of over. And so we had a conversation within our team, and it was like, I just don't have it in me to go international anymore. And just from a financial standpoint, from a physical standpoint, I just was kind of checked out. So we decided to finish the AVP season together and for her to pick up someone else to go make a run with, but really to develop, for 2028. So yeah, it was, sorry, that was a lot.
It's exactly what we needed to hear. Seriously.
It was.
Because people, they do have questions, and everybody's journey is different, right? Especially when it comes to retirement. So I think it's refreshing to be able to hear different people's point of view.
Yeah, it was definitely a decision. Of course, I made the decision, but it was a team decision. And I think everyone knew and everyone was on board. And really, it couldn't have been at a better time. Like, I personally felt like I was playing the best volleyball in my career, which is kind of crazy to be like, I'm playing my best, but I'm also going to walk away. But yeah, the journey was incredible. And being able to finish out my entire career with Meg and Scott as our coach and Chris as our assistant coach, it was just really, really cool journey. Excuse me.
And I know that we were both commentating and we were like, wait, today's the retirement day? Like, how did we not know that was coming?
Right.
So obviously there was a lot that went into the decision to retire, which it sounds like it was premeditated. However, then the execution, the rollout, talk to us about like actually verbalizing it and saying, hey, today's the day. And what goes through your head on today's the day?
I had zero plan. I honestly wasn't even going to announce it. I planned on just kind of silently walking away from the sport and being done.
The Irish goodbye.
Hey. I'm really good at Irish goodbyes. So, but I had talked to Josh at the AVP, and he knew that it was also that I was retiring. And so he called me and he's like, let me do something for you in Chicago, please. And I was like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm good. And he was like, Emily, you deserve it. I think you'll regret it in the long run. So think about it. So I did. I took probably 3 days to think about it, talk to my family. And then was just kind of like, all right, fine. Do whatever you want. I don't really care. And it was the most incredible. I'm so happy that he talked me into it. And what the AVP put on was so great. And I wasn't expecting it or thinking that I needed it. But when it all came to fruition, I was like, man, that was one of the coolest things for me to experience. I think my journey in volleyball has always just been I felt like I've been overlooked a lot in my career. I didn't start when I was 12 years old and go through the USA rankings. So I just kind of felt like my place in the sport was never big enough or like I deserved it. But then when that day came, it was like, no, I do deserve this. I've given a lot to the sport, sacrificed a lot of things. And so, yeah, it felt really good. And in that moment, it was just, I don't think it really hit me in the moment. Like once it came out and the slideshow and being announced on stadium court, it was amazing. It was a feeling that I can't really explain, just gratitude and just so grateful for the journey that I'd been on. So
it's amazing. Well, congratulations.
Thank
on that.
you.
But I'd love to hear the advice that you have for other pros that are entering that retirement stage, the experience. So you're like, hey, I didn't really think about it in hindsight. Like, I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
But what advice would you give to those other professional athletes as they're emerging into their retirement and the day of retirement?
Yeah. I would say to definitely, no matter where you are in your career, like you deserve to be celebrated. Your career deserves celebration. It deserves attention. And I think just embracing that whole journey and being okay announcing it, letting people know. And there were so many people because I didn't say anything. So it was like the day of and they're like, what? We didn't know, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I think the people that have followed you in your career, they want to know. They've been a part of the journey with you. So I think just embracing all of that and allowing the people to celebrate you and give you, all the honor. And it's a really cool feeling. You feel really grateful for everything that you've done.
It's awesome. Well, I felt grateful commentating on your matches on
Well,
the
thank
final
you.
tournament. It was such an honor to do that.
Same. It was really fun. Well, the door didn't hit you on the way out of the AVP, and simultaneously, another one opened while the other one didn't hit you. But you're starting to hit a couple things now, crossing over into boxing.
Yeah.
So let's just
No
dive
more
on
beach
to that.
volleyballs.
No more. No.
What inspired you?
I wanted to stay in shape after beach volleyball because, it's a great way to stay in shape. And I'm like, all right, what can I do that's going to keep me in great shape? And boxing was the first thing that popped into my head. And so initially I was just like, great, I want to stay in shape. These workouts are killer. And then I started hitting the bag and I was like, wait, why would I just do this to stay in shape when I can actually fight somebody?
The inner competitor really came out.
Yeah.
Like, how can I win at this?
It was like I was done with volleyball. I think I was about 3 weeks into retirement and I was bored and I was like, I need to do something. So staying in shape and then being able to hit people.
And I feel like the odd person out because the two of you are boxing and I'm not. So I'm going to have to start boxing
Get
too.
on down here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were both at Beastie Boxing
Yeah.
with the late Cedric,
Yeah.
who was absolutely amazing
Incredible.
and was such a light in the sports community, especially in underprivileged communities with youth sports. So big shout out to Beastie Boxing.
Yes.
Is that where you first started?
Yeah, that was the first time. So I found them online and found when a class was happening. It was like 6 a.m. I'm like, cool, I'll go to that class. And it was supposed to be a female trainer. And I got there and Cedric was there, owner of the gym. And so he talked to me and the girl couldn't make the class. So he was actually instructing the class. And I was like, oh, perfect. And so him and I talked after the class and he was like, we need more of you in this gym, like just your passion and getting after it because I'm so competitive and it was a class. And I'm like, I'm not going to be like, I'm going to be first finishing the runs and doing all these things. And I told him, I was like, I'm serious. Like I actually want to box. And he just kind of looked at me kind of crazy. Like, do you realize what that takes? I'm like, yeah. And so he had me come back the next morning at 6 and did an individual workout with him. And then the next morning, he's like, all right, we got to meet at the track, 5:30 a.m. I'm like, okay.
You're like, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm used to this.
I'm ready.
Back in a comfort zone. Of
Exactly.
Back, elite athlete performing.
I took 3 weeks off, so we're good to go. And so we met at the track and then I had one more session with him. And so he was the one that like really got me excited about it. And he was all in. He was like, all right, this is what you want to do. This is what we're doing. I need to see you Monday through Saturday, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, that was kind of the very beginning of the journey. And he was incredible.
Yeah. He was awesome.
Yeah.
Such a bright light.
He was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
Mm-hmm.
So then continuing your journey here, started at Beastie Boxing. Where are you now?
I'm now at Raw Talent Boxing down in Santa Ana with my coach, Erin. And I found her. I have a friend that boxed and did some like MMA, UFC stuff in Chicago. And then he moved to LA and he wasn't competing anymore, but he was still in gyms doing workouts and stuff. So he basically knows like all the best trainers in the area. So through his connections, he connected me with Erin. So
making the drive now.
Making the drive.
Instead of to the beach, it's to the gym.
It's to the gym. I know.
In Orange County.
All these rainy days, I'm like, oh, I still get to train. So.
I think the common thread is you like to be in a boundary.
A ring.
Yes.
Beach ring, now the boxing ring.
Now the boxing ring. Yeah.
You're in your zone.
Yeah. And
So-
Erin is like very similar to my beach coach.
Okay.
Super technical, breaks everything down, which is just how I operate, and I love it. So.
And
Yeah,
that's an interesting question. So what are the similarities in professional sports, like approaching beach volleyball, now approaching boxing that carries over? And what are the big differences on the industry between boxing and beach?
The technical side is the same. At least from the coach I came from on the beach, Scott. He's a very technical coach, will break down every single skill, which is what I love. Like, tell me how to angle and do all these things, break down my arm swing, So she's very similar in that aspect. And we started with my feet because all your punches come from your feet.
You're like, that sounds familiar.
That sounds familiar, but also in a very different way because it's funny because my trainer always tells me like, your feet, I know your feet are great, no problem there. And I get to my boxing coach and she's like, we need to work on your feet. I'm like, wait, this is supposed to be what I'm really good at. So there's a lot of differences, like the posture. I'm so used to being chest forward, arms out, and with boxing, it's like 50-50 on your feet and standing up straight. And I kept wanting to lean over. And if you lean into your punches, you're going to get knocked out. So changing all that was a huge, still changing all of it. It's still very new. But yeah, learning all that stuff is really fun and frustrating on days. The community itself, and I don't know if it's just the gym I'm at, but also at Beastie, like the second you walk in, people are giving you knuckles, like, welcome, so happy to have you here. That is not beach volleyball. It took me years to feel like I actually belonged in the sport. So that's been a nice change.
Yeah.
That is. a nice little change for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So moving forward into you want to compete. We touched on that a little bit before filming. So what is usually that process like? How long does an athlete in boxing need to train before then getting inside the ring with someone?
I honestly think it's all dependent on the individual. As much as I'm an athlete and a professional, I've been a professional athlete for 13 years. This is something that the sport's dangerous. So it's something that I'm going to take my time. And I put a lot of trust in my coach. I know she's not going to put me in the ring before I'm ready. So for me, I mean, I've been in it consistently for maybe like 3 months now. Maybe I'll fight in, 3 or 4 months, but it's just very, it just kind of depends on where I'm at. And
And it's interesting because usually in general, if you hit the big sports, right? So like if you do NFL, baseball, soccer, you're on a roster or on a field with multiple teammates, right? And then you narrowed it down to beach volleyball, which is just you and the other guy, and now it's just you.
Just me. Yeah.
So what is that like? You're
I don't
in
get
there.
to tap out.
No, you don't.
Sub 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I kind of like it. I like that it's all on me. I don't have to worry about anybody else. I know that if I lose, it's all on me. If I win, it's all on me. It's different and the same with beach volleyball. Because like, yes, you have a teammate, you're in a partnership, but you also have to, at times it can be an individual sport. Like you have to focus on yourself and be a good teammate in order to build good team chemistry. So I think that's kind of what I'm taking away with me is like, I already know how to focus on me. It's kind of nice. It's like literally just me and my coach. It's one-on-ones every day, or like hour and a half. And it's just her focus is me. And so that part it's really nice.
What are your goals for boxing?
Honestly, I don't even think I want to go pro. I think I want to just do some amateur fights. I don't really know. I'm just kind of going with it, seeing where it takes me. Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I'm loving it. So
let the punches roll.
Hey.
Hey. I did it. I went there.
Yes.
I went there.
Yeah.
Fun. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. So just kind of rolling with the punches then.
Rolling with the punches.
Yep.
Yeah.
Literally.
Started sparring. So I'll be sparring like once a week now. So that's been really cool. Actually getting hit in the face because never been hit before I started this journey.
How are the hands?
Hands are good.
Hands are good.
Yeah. My pinky was messed up in the beginning because I was punching the wrong way. So we've corrected that.
Good.
Now we're punching the right way. Yeah.
How often do you spar?
It'll be once a week.
Okay.
Yeah. I've sparred twice now. So
cool.
Spar again tomorrow.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Very fun. So how's the mental preparation differ between going in to a spar in the sand and now you're sparring in a ring?
Anxiety is definitely higher. I realized the first time I sparred, it wasn't even, I was anxious just to like get hit in the face. Cause I'm like, I've never been hit. This is something that even my coach said, some people will get hit and then they're done. They decide this isn't what I want. I got hit and I was like, let's go. Like, I need this. Like I want to be better. I know I can do better. And breathing. Breathing was the hardest thing. I was in the ring and at one point, I shouldn't even admit this, but I was like stood in the corner and put my hands on my knees and I was like, I can't breathe. And my coach is like, you cannot quit in the middle of a fight. So it was like, it gave me this like, okay, you're right. But 3 minutes in the ring feels like eternity. And I had headgear on and a mouthpiece. So it's like trying to breathe with all that on and someone's just hitting you in the face.
That's a lot
in the
because
gut.
beach volleyball and the heat and the moisture and humidity, that's a lot. And you've done
It's a
it
lot.
at high altitude
Yeah.
across all the
Yeah.
world. And
Yeah.
you're saying that's even harder to
This is way harder. I mean, getting hit in the face with a volleyball sucks. It's more your ego that hurts at that point.
Yeah.
Yard sale.
Yeah.
But yeah, when someone's actually like physically trying to hurt you, it's a different feeling.
Tapping into like the minute details of now being a boxing athlete, does your day-to-day regimen look different? Like nutrition, your sleep schedule, how does that look?
I would say pretty similar. Nutrition's a little different, just because, like with beach volleyball, that was my job. Boxing, as much as I am loving it, it's not my job. It's kind of what I'm doing on the side of working. So that piece is a little different because I'm used to just like my job is to go to the gym and work out and that's it. So it's been hard to kind of balance that of like, this is really what I want my job to be, but I'm not making money, so I got to figure out a job. So that piece has been different, and just trying to figure out, how do I get all the runs in that I need? How do I lift? How do I go see my coach? And with boxing, it's like I only lift once a week. With volleyball, it's 3, maybe 4 times a week. Boxing's a little different than that with that. So I'm lifting, my coach right now wants me lifting once a week and then running 2 to 3 days a week.
That's a big difference.
Has been the biggest difference because I hate running.
Yeah, a big difference.
I am not a runner.
No.
Have you looked at the stats in comparison, like on Whoop or any of your trackers between beach volleyball and boxing?
I haven't, no.
And the comparison.
I haven't.
That'd be really interesting.
That would be interesting. Yeah, it's, my sister has been like, this is awesome, now I have a running partner. And she's an Ironman. And I'm like, no,
You're like,
you do not have a running partner. I'm like tapping out at 3 miles right now. Yeah. Absolutely not.
What did your family say when you were letting them know you wanted to get into boxing?
Yes, I've retired and now I'm
and here's what I'm doing. My sister is all on board and fired up. My parents are, my mom's like, I'm not coming, I'm not watching. I wish you wouldn't do it, which is fair. I mean, my dad is kind of like, he likes watching men's boxing, but with women, he's like, I don't want to see women hit each other. So they're not super on board. I think my dad would be there for my match. My mom for sure wouldn't be there. Mm-hmm. But I mean, they're like.
Understandable.
Yeah, for sure. So they're supportive, but not.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What filled your cup playing beach volleyball, and what is now filling a new cup competing in boxing?
There's a lot in beach volleyball that filled my cup. I always loved my teammates. Like, I think that there's a lot of partnerships that can go in so many different directions, and I truly loved playing with everybody that I played with. You spend a lot of time together, so traveling the world with people that you like being around and that you love is super fun. So I loved that part. Learning, and I think that goes into boxing too, just learning. Like with volleyball, you never stop learning. With boxing, it's so new, and I'm sure like if I keep going, there's always learning to be had. But yeah, just like being able to do something this new at this age too it's been really fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's so fun. Very cool.
Yeah.
So you talked a little bit about kind of hobby and boxing kind of filling that and recreation. And then you talked about job and work. So what is the new work for you?
I am personal training. I'm personal training at a couple gyms right now. So locally in El Segundo at FIVB Volleyball Performance, which has been awesome. And then I also train up in Santa Barbara at Platinum Fitness. So I am driving all over the place. But yeah, with personal training, my absolute dream job is to train extreme sport athletes, specifically motocross. So that's where in Santa Barbara, I have a connection to do that. The gym owner, he trains some of the top motocross guys in the world or in the country.
So Colorado of you.
I know. I'm going back to my roots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've missed it. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
And in terms of in terms of training beach volleyball athletes, what are some of the things that you're seeing, the evolution of training habits or techniques as well?
I mean, I think I learned a lot just with myself and the trainers that I had over the years of playing. Because when I first started beach volleyball, I was very much an indoor player. And so just kind of learning that what you do in the gym needs to transfer to the beach. and how an indoor player lifts is not what a beach player needs to be doing. And that took me a while to kind of understand and know how to do.
Can you give us a few specifics?
Yeah.
Of some of the generals of the difference between indoor strength and conditioning and beach strength?
So the biggest thing is that indoor players get to use the ground for force, right? Whether they're, let's talk about jumping. They get to go into the ground and use the ground to help them jump. As a beach volleyball player, if you were to do that same approach in the sand, you're going to sink and it's going to take away from your jump. So with beach players, we need to learn how to get strength and power from within our body as opposed to using the floor. A way to do that is a lot of band work, right? So we strengthen from, when you use bands, you strengthen from the inside out versus weights that are strengthening basically just your big muscle groups. So the bands kind of help you learn to get power and use force from within your body versus using exterior. Yeah.
So how many bands are you supposed to have in your bag as a beach volleyball athlete?
One of every color and every size.
All the bands.
All the bands.
Bands do make you
They travel well, though.
They travel well. You
can a new product line for you in the future.
Yeah. I mean, you can do a full workout with body weight and bands and get a better workout than sometimes going and throwing around weights in the gym.
Yeah, you guys heard it here first from Emily. You don't even need to go to the gym if you don't have to.
But you should come see me because I can help. Of course. But really, I can help.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Anything else?
No, just want to know where to find you.
Yeah.
Instagram is all like, follow my boxing journey on Instagram. And you can find me at VIVB, working. Come train with me. And if you're up in Santa Barbara, you can find me there as well. So yeah, Instagram, eStock2.
Perfect.
And yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, until next time,
awesome.
We're going to have you back.
Perfect.
We're following along.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in your corner.
Yeah.
After I get my first win in the ring.
There you go.
Perfect.
Let's go. Well, cool. Thanks, guys, so much for watching this episode. Make sure to follow along Emily's amazing new journey in her life. Until next time, make sure to like, subscribe. Go ahead, leave a comment. Good or bad, just let us know what you want to see. We want to know. Seriously, it would help us out a lot. We appreciate you for watching. Make sure to follow Emily Stockman on Instagram. DM her if you want all the latest and greatest workout tips. We'll see you next time.